Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Shruti-Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I'll start the chanting. Yeah, I'll start today. It's okay. I'll just 36 to 39. Arjuna Uvacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyam. I'm doing it again. Arjuna Uvacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyam. Arjuna Uvacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyan Papai Charati Purushaha Anichanapi Varshneya Baladeva Niyojitaha Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidhenam Nihavairinam Vidyenam Nihavairinam Dhumena Vahnihi Yatha Darsho Malena Cha Yatholbena Vrato Garbhaha Tathate Nedamavratam Avratam Jnanametena Jnanino Nityavairina Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Nalena Cha. So, we are seeing now chapter 3, which talks about Karam Yoga. And we have reached the question asked by Arjuna based on observation and based on personal experience, which we can all relate to within ourselves as well. What is that? Just as, say, when we were children, We were told by adults, don't do this. This is not right for you. Or do this. This is the correct thing to do. Having told, sometimes we found ourselves struggling to follow it. We found ourselves debating whether I should not. The temptations seemed to be too strong. They seemed as if you are being made to fight something to go against your wish. Your wish, your desire, आपकी मर्जी आपको कुछ कहने को कर रही है, कह रही है, मगर आपको कहा जा रहा है कि ये ठीक नहीं है या ये ठीक है. ठीक नहीं है मत करो, ठीक है करो. So there is this strong pull, tug of war going on within us. Should I give in to what I have been told? They say that it is in my interest. But I see that my desire is getting interrupted. मुझे जो अच्छा लग रहा है, मेरी मर्जी जिसमें चल रही है, मुझे उससे क्यों रोका जा रहा है? मुझे उसमें क्यों बाधा बन रहे हैं? मुझे क्यों कहा जा रहा है कि ये तुम्हारे लिए ठीक नहीं है, मत करना? And then most often we were not even given reasons. क्यों नहीं करना? So it was more like follow it on faith, accept it as it is. But some wisdom prevails. The adults would say, हमें भी बड़ों ने ऐसा ही कहा था, etc. मर्जी तुम्हारी at the end. You do what you want. It's your life. That tug of war that you felt within, that you identified with, that tug of war is what here Arjun is saying is happening to all of us. And what is that force? Balavat, he says, as if कोई forcefully आपसे करा रहा है. कैसे forcefully? He gave the example in the Bhashyam. Shankara gave the example as if a king has ordered his helper, call it servant, call it someone who works under him, and the servant or the helper has absolutely no choice in it, has to do it. उसकी मर्जी नहीं है लेकिन करना पड़ेगा. That balavat, that force that he's finding within himself, he says, what is that which prevents me from doing what is right, having known? Bhashyam has elaborated it in depth. When Krishna is showing the way so clearly in the Gita, and our Shastras show us so clearly the path of Shreyas, why is it that we still feel difficult to follow, if not impossible? And why do we still get fascinated, attracted to instant pleasures, instant gratifications, knowing that they are harmful for us? So that was his question. Anichan api, without even any wish to follow it. And here then Bhagwan has started in 37th verse. What is that force? It's a very important portion, and you will find this is very fundamental to one's inner growth. I'll just make a general statement. Whoever has their desires under their supervision, they have a very high chance, I don't want to use the word success rate, etc. They have a very high probability that the knowledge will remain with them. It'll anchor them. Whoever has desires under their supervision, a very high probability that they will also have knowledge retained in them, sustained by them. The knowledge will take a hold, a seed in them. That knowledge will be their guiding source, will be their inspiring source, and ultimately established in knowledge. Therefore, the fundamental that Shastra points again and again is, from a pure Vedantic drishti, avidya is the root cause of everything. Pura sansar. Avidya means not knowing myself as who I am, and that who I am, Shastra says, you are not this individual, you are Brahman, you are the great, birthless, deathless, changeless, immortal, eternal, not a name and a form limited to this body and this birth. You are that Brahman by your very nature. That word should be underlined. It should come to our reflection, contemplation. हमारा स्वभाव शास्त्र दृष्टि में हम अजन्मा है, मृत्यु नहीं है, वी आर अविकारी, वी आर हमारा स्वभाव सत चित आनंद, in short, that is who we are. Shastra drishti. I'm repeating it in Hindi because certain things drive home better in local language. स्वभाव हमारा, उस स्वभाव को हम डिफ्रेंशिएट करते हैं हमारे जीव का स्वभाव, इंडिविजुअल. हम अपने आप को अच्छा बुरा, we call ourselves I'm like this, I'm like that, I like this, I like that. That is that individual level of nature that we associate nature with. मेरा स्वभाव क्या है? शास्त्र इस स्वभाव को डिस्टिंक्ट करता है with one's swarup. That swarup is your swabhav, your innermost, your core, which is your real nature. Magar somehow we are missing it. Somehow is a word taken only accepting that we are not registering it. Answer is there. We can. Shastra shows us the way. अपना स्वभाव पहचान सकते हैं, जान सकते हैं, मगर कारण है कि हम उसको मानते नहीं, जानते नहीं, पहचानते नहीं. Forget that. हमारा ध्यान भी नहीं है वहाँ. We don't even know. That not knowingness is one word, avidya. And only solution of that avidya is its direct factor that can destroy it, the direct thing that destroys it. Directly, how is it destroyed? Agyan can only be destroyed by Gyan. Atma Gyan can be only destroyed by Atma Gyan, period. There is no other cancellation possible. You know, when you write in those olden days, we had those chalkboards, and when our teacher used to write with chalk, and if they didn't find an eraser, what did they erase with? Some cloth or something else. Sometimes by the hand itself they would erase. That means there's an alternative to erase. There is some alternative possible. Avidya, there is no alternative possible that you can tackle it with. The only way to tackle avidya is with vidya. Vidya ही अविद्या को नाश करती है. Just as अंधकार, darkness. What can tackle darkness? Light. Nothing else can tackle darkness. In fact, absence of light alone can be called darkness. Absence of light is called darkness. Darkness as inherent fact is not there. Light, when it is absent, wherever there is no light, that absence of light is called darkness. In exactly parallel to this, wherever there is no vidya, atma vidya, स्वरूप विद्या, मैं कौन हूं, मैं क्या हूं, मैं कहां से आई, मैं कहां जा रही, मैं जा रही, 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 that gender, my age, all these things that pertain to me today, my cognition of me, are not addressed in my thinking, in my examination, in my wanting to know if I am that or not. मैं हूं क्या? We don't have a cognition of that. So Shastra says, Vidya ka na hona is avidya. Avidya is a root cause of this entire play of life. I'll call it play of life. जीवन की जो गति है, जिसको हम जीवन कहते हैं, the entire play of life, which includes birth and death, because I believe I'm born and I will die. This entire play of life is stemming from, the root of it is avidya. There is no other cause, direct cause. But once avidya is taken as a cause, I still don't know how to address it, because in my mind, I am a very strong individual and I have my likes and I have a personality which is distinct from another. I have my own nature, which I have established as me. I am. I have a religion, I have an identity, I have a nationality, I have a family, I have, I am, all this. It goes on. Taking that as standard, hai wo to. Once it comes to expression, it comes into expression as I feel I need to complete myself. I feel I'm incomplete. I feel I'm lacking. Take these words very carefully. Each of these words is indicative of our avidya. I feel I'm lacking. How many of us can accept this? That I feel I'm lacking. In what is another question. But I feel I'm lacking. Sometimes I attribute that to money. Sometimes I attribute that to intelligence. Sometimes I attribute that to something or the other. I attribute. I'm lacking. I lack love. I lack harmony. I lack this. I lack that. I lack. And then the minute there is this lack, kami, incompleteness is another word. I just constantly keep feeling I need to do something. I need to become something to become complete, to become full, to become whole, to become, to never want again. So, what is the first one? Lack. Second one, incomplete. All these are actually simultaneous. Pick up any one. They'll all bring the rest of them together. It's like एक कड़ी पकड़ ली, वो सारी एक साथ खुलने लगती है. I feel unwanted. I feel I want. When I say I lack, what follows? I feel I wish I have more. All this that starts to express itself, व्यक्त होने लगता है. It starts to manifest. It starts to arise in a cognizable way. Cognizable means I'm now able to register as a thought. I lack, I feel unfulfilled, I want, therefore I want more and more, because then more and more will make me more fulfilled. Then I feel unhappy, I feel sad. All these because I'm seeking completeness, I'm seeking fullness, I'm seeking peace, I'm seeking harmony, I'm seeking freedom from. From is my individual attributes. कुछ ना कुछ हमें जो परेशान कर रहा है, हम उसको बहुत छोटी चीज़ों पे डालते हैं। हम लगता है वो सॉल्व हो जाए तो हम ठीक, विल बी फाइन। This processing, here Bhagwan says in 37th verse, this put it as one word, kama. English, when you translate it, it becomes desire. Desiring. Here the translation is craving. There is really no parallel word. Ichha is also a very short form of kam. As we saw in the bhashyams before, that kam is a direct manifestation of avidya. Just as when you plant a seed under the ground, you don't know there is a, say your gardener came and planted a seed. You do not know there is a seed there. After some time, you see a sapling. From that sapling, what did you infer? There has to be a seed. Without a seed, you can't have a sapling. So if I'm seeing a sapling, I'm not seeing the seed, but I'm seeing the sapling. That sapling, just when it's beginning to show manifestation of life, seed also has life, but I can't see. It's hidden. When it becomes stronger, that seed has erupted, has had the strength to break through the ground, and has now come up as an entity, distinct. That sapling is a distinct entity. That distinct entity, sapling, is telling me that there was a seed there. This sapling now, equated here, your seed is avidya. From avidya, that's a generalized seed, totality. In this avidya also, there is a cycle that we have perpetuated. The first sapling that comes up is this karma. And as karma also, in this equation, it is still hidden in our subtle body. अभी दिखता नहीं हमको पूरा, हमारा ध्यान नहीं जाता है. It is there as a preference, as a rag and dvesh. And we saw it in the previous classes. These rag and dvesh are in the form of our impressions. They are latent. They are in our own subtle body, deeply embedded, collected by our own past. We have gathered them. We can't go back. But here today, now, I am not able to recognize what all deep-seated desires I have. I can only generalize them as Shastras told me. I feel unhappy, I feel unfulfilled, or I'm seeking happiness, or I'm happy but I want something more, etc. These are very general terms that is common, universal to everybody. I can identify from there. But there are specifics that suddenly there is this thought that comes up. So at the level of the subtle body, my calm, my desiring process from where it starts is still hidden in me. This calm now becomes in some environmental situation when I suddenly feel, yeah, this, that raga dvesh finds an expression through my own indriyas, which are, I'm repeating that someone may have missed it. When we say raga dvesha vyavasthitau in the previous verse, means these indriyas are organized in a way to travel only along the respective raga dvesh with which they register the objects. उनका रास्ता ही वो है, वो कहीं और जाती नहीं है, वो राग द्वेष के बेस पे ही जाती है इंद्रियों के विषयों में, इंद्रियां अपने विषयों में राग द्वेष पे ही जाती हैं और कोई तरीका नहीं है उनके पास जाने का, व्यवस्थित है ये, इट्स एन ऑर्डर। दैट इच्छाएं जो हमारे अंदर हैं, जो लेटेंट हैं, हमें नहीं दिख रही आज। आई मे बी सिटिंग वेरी पीसफुली, वेरी क्वाइटली, enjoying my solitude, enjoying my retreat, supposing I've gone, or enjoying my holiday, and I think everything's perfect. सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है. Nothing could have gone, nothing could be better. And then suddenly, my neighbor starts to shout or scream at me or something. Now, what happens to that peace and everything going very fine? Suddenly, a thought starts to emerge, and that thought came out based on the environment. The environment triggered the fructification of the thought. We are not saying environment is important or primary, but there was a trigger. Based on that trigger, my reaction came out. That told me that I have this desire. Supposing, I can identify what was getting fulfilled and now what is getting obstructed. Even if they did not say anything to me, to someone else, but it making a ruckus, making a hawa gawa, shor sharaba, or disturbing the environment. And suddenly I realize I have such deep value for peace. I took the holiday for peace or whatever, shanti, means I just wanted to be quiet. And here now I see that my desire was to be quiet. How did I register? I found myself getting irritated. इतना शोर मचा रहे हैं. That इतना शोर मचा रहे हैं. If I'm saying it, let me say this in two tones. कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं? 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 What are these two tones telling us? When I say कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं, in that कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं, I'm all, what is it telling me?
It's telling me I'm so disturbed with the environment outside. I cannot handle it in spite of so much of learning.
Okay, that was the second one. The first one, my expression has to go with it. कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं?
Seems to be a by the way fact.
Sorry?
It's a fact, like by the way. It's not something that's playing on your mind, but you're just stating something. That's
All right. That's also another third response, correct?
Also, that you are at peace with yourself inside, and the outside interferences and disturbances are not bothering you.
Correct.
It's so just an observation that you've done as
right.
You're looking at something and you're observing
right, right. Correct. I am not affected. Simple. When I'm saying it's with a smile, I'm not perturbed. Just mentioning, but I'm not. Yes,
Not
it's
a
an
Hawa in
objective
your mind.
assessment. Sorry?
It's not a Hawa in your mind.
It's not a
Like,
Hawa in your
say,
mind. It's like, हाँ, ठीक है. But supposing I'm saying, कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं, कितना शोर मचा रहे हैं. Now what's happened?
your mind is clear.
Your irritation, the thought, कितना शोर मचा, the tone in the thought is telling me my desire is getting interrupted. That tone in my thought is indicating to me कि मेरी कोई कामना है यहाँ, मेरी कोई इच्छा है यहाँ, क्योंकि it is disturbed. That kamna has found an interruption. That kamna has found a block. It's getting obstructed. It's countered. It's not letting my kamna fulfill itself. I was sitting very aram se. I was enjoying the nature. I was enjoying the birds. I was enjoying everything. I was enjoying the waterfall. I was enjoying thoroughly. And out of the blue, suddenly, means at that time I didn't even have a thought that I am seeking happiness. I am seeking quiet. I have a desire for quiet. I didn't register it. Naturally, I was just there. But the minute this interrupted, my thought process tells me that I have a desire there. So far, correct? That thought process which is pointing to me that मेरी कोई इच्छा है वहां पे. Bhagwan is saying here, Kama Esha. Whatever we find ourselves forcefully, as if by force, he's answering Arjun's question, as if by force pushes me to do something which I don't want to do. What is that force? He says that force is your desire. Kamna. Aapki kaam hai wo. Don't confuse it with Hindi ka kaam. That kaam is your deep-seated, impression-based, sanskar-based, your conclusion of what gives you happiness when you have not examined whether it is right or wrong. Your own conclusion of what gives you happiness without examining whether your conclusion is right or wrong, क्या वो आनंद दे सकता है कि नहीं दे सकता है, क्या वो पीसफुल सिचुएशन आनंद दे सकती है कि नहीं दे सकती. आपने कभी सोचा नहीं, आपको बस लगता, आपने बिना सोचे आपको कंक्लूजन में है, यू हैव कंक्लूडेड दैट दिस विल गिव मी हैप्पीनेस. वो आपके चित्त में है. That, he says, itself is what is anger. When it's obstructed, when the desire is obstructed, it is anger. From where is it coming? Rajo guna samudbhavaha. Born from samudbhavaha. It has born from Rajoguna. Kamna is a product of your Rajoguna. Rajas is what keeps me feeling I don't have enough, I've not done enough, I need to do more, I'm not happy enough. That Rajas is something that keeps us in motion. It keeps us active. Raja Guna, born from Rajaguna. Kamna is born from Rajas. And Rajas itself will promote Kamna. Rajas promotes Kamna. And when you act on Kamna, your Kamna promotes Rajas. Repeating myself. Where does the Kamna come from? Rajaguna. What happens when you pursue it? This Rajaguna now increases further. Your Kamna now flares up the Rajaguna. That is why you find that the minute I heard someone that noise in my environment, and I said, "Kitna shor macha rahe hain." When I said that, instantly, what did I want to do? I wanted to change my seat. I wanted to go away from that place. दुख निवृत्ति का कारण बन गया. Why did I go there? सुख प्राप्ति का रजस है वहां. It pushed me into action. That fact that I'm sitting wherever I'm sitting, if I'm peaceful here, wherever I am, yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, we'll see it in Bhagavandam soon again. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sangha ratova, sangha vihina, yasya ramati brahmani chittam nandati 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 eva. Whoever revels in Brahma Anandam, वो उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता whether you are in yoga or in bhoga, you are in company or you are in solitude. They revel in their own self. We saw it in the Gita also. Atmarati, Atma Tripti, Atma Santushti. The one who's already in Atmarati, Atma Santushti, Atma Tripti, वो तो already ज्ञानी के लक्षण थे. अर्जुन प्रश्न पूछ रहा है कि I find myself, not only myself, he's not asking for his own self, as we saw in the Bhashyan, he's asking for everyone. All of us are pushed into, by force, into doing things, that to our own assessment are wrong for us. Take any habit, for example, people who gamble, who are addicted to gambling, who are addicted to drinking, who are addicted to keeping wrong company, which they don't see it's wrong, but they're told it is wrong, but they still can't prevent themselves from avoiding the company or avoiding that stimulus, avoiding that intoxication. They still can't prevent themselves from it. That force, the point to be drawn is Rajas is that force from where your Sukha Prapti, Dukha Nivritti, both the impulses will operate. So the minute that sound came, I instantly found myself identifying with my organs of action. I want to avoid that because I find it as Dukh ka karan, and I want to go away from. I need a resolution. I need a solution so that I'm back to my peaceful state. I'm back to my state of happiness. If I don't find it, what will happen? Supposing you change your seat and then that person, whoever is, also finds you piche, 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 piche. You go somewhere else, there also, again, they start there. Now, what is happening to your initial stage of little irritation, which made you go away? You wanted to resolve it peacefully. Now, what's happening? What will happen? Dhire, dhire, dhire. That desire to avoid because you want this, both the things will start increasing in their strength. As a result of which, all Vyavharik Klesh is based on this. That Raja Guna pushes us into action. Kama, karma. Avidya, kama, karma. In Naishkarmya Siddhi by Sureshwara, he gives this beautiful connection. From avidya comes kama, and from kama comes karma. And from karma comes what? What comes from karma?
Result.
Result. In which form? Bhogna. So, in which form does the result come? What sort of a bondage? Okay,
It will
last.
bind you. Bind you.
Sorry?
It will bind you to sanskar.
Yeah.
Punya pa.
Ha, punya pa. So, the result in the form of punya pa. So, result first means now the result is in the form of punya pa. Fir aap bhogoge, and that will then take you to bondage. And that bondage again, so now you are in that vicious circle. That vicious circle, all of it is presupposing avidya. In the presence of the whole cycle is happening in the presence of Sorry?
No,
No.
your desire.
No, the whole cycle is happening from avidya itself. Avidya, kama, karma, punya, papa, bhoga, bondage. Again, kama.
In your mind?
Okay, in your mind, in the presence of, go backwards.
Your conscious?
Brahman. In the presence of ever present, your own Swabhav, Swarup, Swarup always remaining changeless. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again and again, you may be born. That Swarup of yours is changelessly present. In the presence of that, this whole cycle is happening continuously. So he says, this cycle is kept alive by our own calm. That's the force there we have gathered. What is that force which has come? Calm. That force expresses itself as krodh, itself as bhaya, itself as lobh, itself as other factors. But basic is rooted is calm. Further, he explains the nature of this desire. So, what is the first thing? He's explained us it is rooted in gati. Rajas means gati. उसमें गति रहती है, काम में गति है. काम इसलिए आपको कभी तृप्त नहीं करती. अगर काम है अंदर, काम मीन्स कामना, अगर कामना है मन में तो वो आपको शांत रखती नहीं है. कामना कोई भी हो, अच्छी बुरी डजंट मैटर, मगर कामना अगर है तो वो मन को शांत नहीं रखती, क्योंकि उस कामना में गति है. इट्स द सीड. उस सीड में एक लाइफ है. दैट सीड विल इरप्ट एज अ सैपलिंग. वो काम में गति है. इट विल इरप्ट एज इच्छा, एंड दैट इच्छा विल बी अ कॉग्निजेबल. You will recognize it in your antakaran as a thought. I desire this. मुझे ये अच्छा लगता है. You can't see the kamna behind, but you will appreciate the desire once it's manifested. And once it's come as the thought level, then starts the entire, क्योंकि रजस है उसके पीछे. So it starts the karma. The कर्म में उसकी वृत्ति क्यों जाती है? वो वृत्ति itself is movement. That movement is going towards the objects, taking the indriyas towards their own bhoga vishaya, because all this is from rajas. And what he's shown us here so far is that rajas gets increased further every time we feed the kamna. So rajas se kamna और कामना रजस को बढ़ाती है. If you look at it only this much, then what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it appear to us? कामना रजस से आती है और कामना रजस को बढ़ाती है. What does it look like?
Both fuel each other.
Both fuel each other. Very well put. Both are fueling each other. They are fueling each other means what now? It's a cycle. So what does it imply?
That your peace of mind can be lost only because of calm.
Okay, right? It implies that a feeding of the desire is not the solution to come out of the cycle. It's a fuel. Maha Ashanaha. Now he's explaining further characteristic of this. That the more exact, to get out of the cycle, I cannot feed it, fuel it at the level of fulfilling the desire. If I keep fulfilling the desire, I'm only growing the rajas, and that rajas will again increase my wants. मुझे अब और कमी लगने लगेगी, बिकॉज रजस बढ़ रहा है तो मुझे अंदर ही अंदर मोर अनवांटेडनेस लगेगा, मोर अनफुलफिल्ड लगेगा, मोर अतृप्त लगेगा. व्हाट वी स्टार्टेड इन द बिगनिंग, ऑल दोस थिंग्स वो और बढ़ने लगेगी. So I will have a little calm now first. I will feel कि if I fulfill this much, I'll be happy. After that, stop. I will not need any more. उसके बाद तो I'll be ever happy, no? फिर तो I will not need anything else now. I'll always remain, I'll also be grateful. Okay. I'll also be grateful. But I'll be happy and I'll be grateful. I will not need anything else after that. So fine. Solution solved. This life's solution taken care of. Or um, this life's agenda taken care of. I have found my happiness. But what happened? What I didn't know, that the minute I feed that that desire, I may even feed it, I may even get it. But what happened? इतनी desire थी, इतनी desire थी. I fed it. What happened? The rajas part of it also increased because of it. Now what happened? Now that little that it increased, I've started feeling wanting again. अब मुझे फिर से कमी लगने लगी. जो मेरी पूरी हो गई वो तो मुझे दिख नहीं रही अब, लेकिन जो रह गई अब बढ़ गई एकदम. मुझे नहीं पता चल रहा कि वो बढ़ गई. आई एम नॉट अ थिंकिंग पर्सन नॉर्मली. मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि ये तो बढ़ गई. पहले इतनी से की थी, अब ये बढ़ गई. एंड वो बढ़ कैसे गई? थोड़ी तो पूरी हुई, लेकिन जो पूरी हुई उसके साथ साथ वो जो बढ़ गई, it increased. That increase is now also fueled by the rajas, and now I will have to fulfill that desire to tell myself again that I'll be happy once I fulfill that. And then what happens? Again it is being increased every time my desire gets fulfilled. Maha ashanaha. Maha ashanaha. Ashanaha means consumer. Is a great Mahashanaha is a great consumer. Endless consumer. वो कभी भी नहीं कहेगी, इच्छा कभी भी नहीं कहेगी तृप्ति भया. I am now satisfied. I do not want any more. The desire for happiness, the desire for fullness, the desire for completeness, the desire for peace, all these universally found desires, whether they are in any animal as well, same desires. In every life form, those universal desires are fueled by our specific ragadvesh that we have concluded as ourselves. And those fuel keeps us in the chase of kama, karma, phala, bhoga, back to square one. Kama increased, now fulfill that. Karma, phala, bhoga, again, cycle. It will never get satiated. The bottom line of it is, सब भूल जाओ, कोई बात नहीं. Bottom line नहीं भूलना. And the bottom line is calm, kamna. Call it desire, call it ichha, call it ragdvesh, call it likes and dislikes, call it wants, call it, I don't have any other word, but call it any word you can identify with. That is insatiable. That is Maha Ashanaha, a great consumer. The more you feed it, the more it grows, flares up. आप जितना उसकी पूर्ति करते हो, जितना आप उस कामना के पीछे गए, कर्म किए और आपको लगा कि हाँ, I have achieved, now I have got what I wanted, and you feel satisfied for a little while and you think, yes, I got it all. And then by the time you wake up in 2-3 days time, again wriggling up, that sapling has grown. It's an ever growing stage. That sapling has now grown a little more, and then that grows a little more, and then it becomes a tree. And what happens when it becomes a tree? It says here, it is once this desire gains enough strength, once it gains its enough strength, Mahapapma, he says, it makes you do all things that were supposed to be wrong for you. That is what Arjun has asked. Why do we forcefully go do things that are wrong for us, knowingly that they are wrong for us? If I am diabetic and I know sugar eating is wrong for me, then why do I still crave sugar? Simple question. The minute I'm told this is not right for you, I start wanting it more than before. You tell me this is out of your boundary, out of your limits. Now that I want it definitely. Mahapapma. It will make me do all, single word, Shastriya term, adharma. It will push me to doing, forcefully take the path of adharma without any constraints. मैं रुक नहीं पाऊंगी, मैं रोक नहीं पाऊंगी अपने आप को. My own will not work. That buddhi that has that little value that this is wrong doesn't have the force to stop this force of ragadvesh. The tug of war, if you visualize a tug of war within, on one side there are 9 people. Okay, let's put it this way. On one side there are 100 Kauravas. No, let's say on one side there are 9 people, and on one side there is one person. As I keep feeding the first one, I can still stop 9 ko, I can still put up a resistance. But after some time, this 9 becomes 50. And that one little thought in me, this is wrong. How much fight can it put against those 50 thoughts of saying, I want it, I want it, I want it? Many years ago, I remember very initially when we just started sharing this knowledge with everyone. First, there was this group. Somebody said, take a talk regularly for a group of alcoholics. The Alcoholic Anonymous program. So take a talk. Fascinating to talk to them. If you just find out how did they slip into that stage of becoming alcoholics, you'll realize that thought of saying, बस एक और फिर रुक जाएंगे, बस ये आखिरी फिर रुक जाएंगे, बस इतना सा फिर रुक जाएंगे. That बस इतना सा propelled them to their own destruction. Because you can fight your kamna at the initial level. When it's not yet very strong, it's just erupted. आप उसके साथ फिर भी कुछ कर सकते हो. But once you go on feeding it, that kamna, that ragadvesh keeps getting fed inside where you cannot tap by your conscious mind. It's gone into your impression stage. अंदर जाके बैठ गया है. You can't handle it there. When it erupts, it makes you take to all kinds of course of actions which are not desirable for your gati, for your peace. Vidhi enam iha vairinam. Know this to be your enemy, Arjun. Vidhi. Know this. Jano. The usage of this is in you know this. It's in that sense of the usage of the verb. You know this. In English, I can add, in quotes, you can say, you better know this. Better know this. What? Enam iha vairinam. Who is that greatest enemy in you? He's not saying avidya is the enemy. If avidya is the enemy, the answer is only vidya. But the enemy in you, which keeps you in the cycle and prevents you from seeking Vidya, prevents us from going into the stage of seeking the higher, the right path, Shreyas, pursuing it, putting all our diligent effort into it. What prevents us from that? What prevents us is this Mahashanaha, Rajogun Samudbhavaha. This is your Vairi. ये है आपका highway robber. Panthi. What Panthi was that? Paripanthi.
now.
Paripanthi. Ragadvesh, therefore Paripanthi now, dual case. Paripanthi, that is your Paripanthi. Ragadvesh is your Paripanthi. That Ragadvesh is spoken of here as Kama Esha, Krodha Esha. Born from Rajas, fueled by Rajas, Kamna fuels Rajas further, therefore it remains insatiable. It can never turn up and say, I've had enough. Just as fire, example given is fire, no fire will ever say, I've had enough fuel. The more you fuel it, the greater strength it gains, more it burns, more capacity it has to burn. And that makes it Mahapapma. Mahapapma, not ordinary. You know, every word in the Bhagavad Gita is like you look at it, and then after a few months, when you again look at it and you realize, oh, I understood Papma before. Mahapapma would mean what? Do I understand the import of that word? Do I understand the gravity of the communication? Mahapapma. And Krishna is using the word. It's not to be taken in a very casual sense. ओ हमसे ना गलत हो जाता है, क्या करें, हो जाता है, चलो कोई नहीं. What is that attitude then? चलो कोई नहीं, देख लेंगे, फिर कर लेंगे, क्या है? You know? What is that attitude then? Where does that attitude come from?
Also from Rajas.
No, that attitude comes from Rajas will make you do something.
Okay. Tamas.
Tamas.
Yeah, tamas.
Tamas. Because it will tell you, that means you've not understood the word Mahapapma. It's a warning. It's a warning. You know? What is a warning? Now, when you go in those war zones and they have this boundaries cut off, they put that warning sign, landmines ahead, go at your own risk. This is a warning verse, a very important verse, very, very important. That's why I started the class by saying it's one of the fundamentals. अगर हमको ये fundamental समझ में आ जाता है कि entire Shastra says what prevents you from your own moksha, what prevents you from your own gati, what prevents you from pursuing the higher, what prevents you from taking a life of vichar, remaining in a life of vichar, what prevents us? Kama. And it is Mahashanaha, Mahapapma. And the ones who begin to know this, what is the way to then handle it? Is there even a way? It looks as if it is impossible. So now what is the way that it has to be dealt with? That's why the entire growth starts from, Chitta Shuddhi starts from neutralizing Ragadvesh. आपका चित्त impure जब कहते हैं मल है उसमें, तो what is that mala? It's in the form of rajas and tamas. Now tamas means I am lazy, I am indolent, I am careless, मुझे नहीं कुछ करना लेकिन मुझे भोगना सब अच्छा है. That is tamas. I am not interested in the results, the outcomes, but I definitely want to enjoy the fruits. Rajas is, I'm also heedless in Rajas also quite an extent, but I'll work for it. From both of these, the direction of life, when we give only based on what will fulfill my desire, that becomes your vairi, that becomes your greatest enemy. Now we saw Bhagwan gave us this last class, we saw Shankara gave us the meaning of who's a Bhagwan. Moving ahead now, very simple words Shankara has used, but Madhusudan ji is going to elaborate this beautifully. I will have to see how much justice one will be able to do to that, but we'll try. Kamaha, Eshaha, this calm, Sarva Loka Shatru. It is the Shatru of the entire Loka. Or Loka means all, here in the context would mean human beings, because animals will not have the Purusharth to deal with calm. They are programmed in that way to just express their own swabhav. But Sarvaloka Shatru, universal, like I said, it's a universal force within you. I want more happiness. Tell us one person who can put up their hand and say, Mujhe to nahi chahiye. Let's do a survey. I wish we really had programs that could be bring this knowledge in a more systematically objective data way also. Simple data. If I had a company which could help ever, let's just take a one floating Google form banao, bhejo sabko, pucho. How many people want happiness? Is there anybody who will say, I don't want happiness? Give them two options. I want happiness. Click one. I don't want happiness. Will we have anybody saying, I don't want happiness? Anybody will click on it? Yes or no? हम में से कोई भी नहीं करेगा. We will say no way at any cost. That is why we are moving to adharma also. Even if that will give me happiness, I'm ready to do that. अगर किसी को मार के, किसी को लूट के, अगर किसी को गुस्सा करके, अगर किसी का धन लेके, अगर किसी का all these Atatainas, the Kauravas did all those Mahapapa karmas. इनमें से कुछ भी करके अगर मुझे आनंद मिलेगा तो आई एम रेडी टू डू दैट ऑल्सो. दैट इज द फोर्स विद विच सर्वलोक शत्रु यत निमित्ता, which becomes a nimittam for what? Sarva anartha praptihi. That is the force which takes us to, I will do anything, as I just said, to get my happiness, to seek my fulfillment. Uske baad, that force is so powerful that it will have no restraint, as if is the word at this point. The Shastra, here the verse is saying, as if there is no restraint on it. Itna force balvat hai ye. Prani naam is sarvaloka, of all beings. सब प्राणियों का शत्रु है ये, और वो शत्रु निमित्त बनता है सर्व अनर्थ प्राप्ति के लिए. What is sarva anartha? Let's open the word. Sarva means all. Anartha means undesirable. Artha means what I desire, what I want. Anartha means anarth ho gaya. Hindi mein when we say the word anarth ho gaya. What is anarth ho gaya? Destroyed. Anarth ho gaya. It's a very beautiful word to say. What I didn't want happened. बुरा हो गया, बहुत बुरा हुआ, मतलब अच्छा नहीं हुआ, means something bad has happened. अनर्थ हो गया, कुछ लॉस हुआ, जो नहीं होना था वो हुआ. So translated into any ways. Sarva anartha prapti, the worst. That's a good one. The worst has happened. Sarva anartha prapti. Anartha, calamitous. Okay. In all aspects. हर तरफ से, sometimes people say, हम हर तरफ से बंध गए, या हम हर तरफ से पिस गए. हाँ जी,
घिरे हुए हैं.
घिरे हुए. हाँ, that's the word. हम हर तरफ से घिरे हुए हैं. मुसीबतों में हम हर तरफ से घिरे हुए हैं. We've been caught up from every side. Sarva anartha prapti. And one needs to really reflect. When we are on the happy stage of life or when we are on the comfortable stage of life, we tend to overlook the fact that these laws work at every level. I call them laws. These are laws. Ye gyan, this knowledge is like a law. You can't change it. This calm is Sarvaloka Shatru, becomes a nimitt for Sarva Anartha Prapti. Sa Esha Kamaha, that calm, Pratihataha, when it is obstructed. बाहर से अगर उसको मारा जाता है, means it has been hit upon. When that desire has got hit, means obstructed. Kenachit, by anyone, by anything, anyone. Krodhatvena parinamate. Sometimes you feel this language is so complete in itself कि हम लोग इतना explanations देते क्यों हैं करके. Because we don't have the language support. All of us don't have. Otherwise, these most concise way, most clarity comes through these words. Kamaha parinamate krodhaha. That काम का ही परिणाम क्रोध है. That काम changes into क्रोध. उसका modification बनता है. Calm and क्रोध are not two separate things. Calm ही एषः कामः. This calm itself is the क्रोध. Modifies into क्रोध. अतः क्रोधः अपि एषः एव. Therefore, क्रोध is also one's shatru. Because kamaha is at the point, initial point. As an expression, it has come into krodh, fully manifested now. Desire fully manifested and obstructed is krodh. That is your shatru. Then the next lines are exactly that cycle that I was explaining. That is now said here. That cycle of calm.
Was 63.
No,
Chapter
not
2.
that, not that. What I just said. Calm is born from rajas, and rajas itself, calm itself increases rajas. Calm is born from rajas, and rajas is increased because of calm. That cycle. Rajoguna samudbhava, rajascha tad gunascha rajoguna samudbhava. Means born from rajaguna. Yasya saha kamaha rajoguna samudbhavaha. That kamaha is born from rajoguna. Rajogunasya va, or rajogun itself, samudbhavaha kamaha. Kama is born from rajas, and rajas is born from kama. Rajaha pravartayan, it keeps purusham, purushko, pravartayan, pravartayati, it keeps them into a cycle. Trishnaya hi ahamkarataha iti. This is a quote unquote. The one who's got carried away by the rajas, by the desires, by kamna, उसके मन में आता है दुखिता नाम. दुखी जब होता है, दुख के कारण उसके मन में कभी कभी आता है, आया है तृष्णया, by trishna, by this thirst of fulfillment, wanting a fulfillment of a desire, that thirst in me, वो तृष्णा ही अहम कारितः, इस तृष्णा ने ही मुझसे कराया. That trishna is what is making me do. That deep desire is making me do. Karitaha, puts me into action, makes me a seeker. Iti dukhitanam rajaha karye. In action, sevadau pravrittanam pralapaha shruyate. When he is serving someone, in certain verses, when we saw Vairagya Shatakam, we saw this very well. This particular point. When you are seva dau means when you don't even want to serve someone, but you have to serve them because it's a part of your uh, chosen desire. There was a verse over there which said, you travel far off into foreign lands, going through so many difficulties. For what? To bring back home some wealth, etc. That seva dau pravrittanam, when you are engaged in serving things, that master was pushing you to do things, so you are become a servant to that desire. Pralapaha, you are wailing, you are complaining, you are dukhi hoke, you are pralap kar rahe ho, you are wailing. Shruyate, you can hear them say that. Then mahashanaha, again I said insatiable, desires are insatiable. That is now explained here. Mahashanaha word. Mahat ashanam yasya iti mahashanaha. That's a grammatical way in which he is explaining. Attaha eva mahapapma. And therefore it is also mahapapma. Makes us do things that are not to be done. Kamena hi prerataha. This line I should underline or highlight. Kamena hi prerataha. कामनाओं से ही प्रेरित होके जंतु जीव पापम करोति, पाप करते हैं. कामनाओं से प्रेरित होके ही जीव पाप करते हैं. Impelled by one's own desires, one does things that bring difficulties in life, struggles in life. Attaha. Now you know why it is so important to know. You can't miss the last quarter of the verse. What is Krishna trying to tell us? All this he says, Ataha, therefore, vitti, no, enam kamam, iha sansare, in this sansar, enam, iha, here in sansar, enam, this, kamam, desires, vairenam, is the foe, is the enemy, is the शत्रु. जानो इस बात को. जान के क्या फायदा जान के? क्यों जानो? Okay, let's do this 2 questions first. क्यों जानो?
ताकि आपको पता रहे कि अगर मोक्ष की तरफ जाना है तो अपने इंद्रियों पे संयम पाना ही पड़ेगा. There is no way around it.
Correct.
And no other rasta.
Correct. Very good. And
when we keep asking ourselves that why can't I get happiness in life and why am I so miserable in life? So this is the reason why we need to look into our desires and we will be able to figure it out better.
Right. Correct. Yes. And
Attitude change हो जाएगा.
हाँ. And वो कहाँ पे आएगा फिर now?
To Ishwar Arpan.
Exactly. Very good.
So when you have the desire for the higher, you will find that desire ultimately. Then you will not have any other desires left of the sansar.
Correct. It will first of all help you to understand. You see, the way to manage desires, I'd started in between and then I left it in the sentence incomplete. The way to handle desire is, first thing is you have to find the flaw in the desire, fulfillment of the desire. दोष दृष्टि होना बहुत आवश्यक है उस कामना की पूर्ति में. That is also another, somebody asked us in Bhagavad, Pratipaksha Bhavna pe zyada, that Pratipaksha Bhavna helps us find the dosha drishti. If I'm able to find that दिस कामना पूरी होने पर भी मुझे क्या मिल रहा है, that starts to reduce the force of the kamna. It starts to reduce the strength of the desire. When I am able to see the flaw in the fulfillment of the desire or what it's bringing along with it, every desire will bring a package with it. If I'm able to recognize what it brings with it, I'm able to see the flaw in it. That is why that Viveka Shakti has to be there. And once you start seeing the dosh of that kamna, then automatically you start loosening it. Because dosh means it's not that complete picture that you are visualizing it. आपको जो शोभना अध्यासा लग रहा था, ये वो नहीं है. So you start losing the strength gradually. And that is what then makes you more inspired, more connected to seeking what is permanent. और वही मेहनत जो हम दुनिया में इम्पर्मनेंट चीजों के लिए करते हैं, यू स्टार्ट गेटिंग मोटिवेटेड, वही मेहनत अब आप परमानेंट के लिए करते हैं. एंड व्हाट इज दैट परमानेंट? Chitta Shuddhi to start with. Excellent. So Chitta Shuddhi and then move onwards up to Brahma Vidya. क्योंकि ये अब परमानेंट है. इच्छाएं तो आपको और संसार में डाल रही हैं, गहरा करती हैं. And that gehrai is what actually Madhusudan ji has pointed, but maybe another time. Just continue, start the next verse a little bit. And therefore he says, this to understand how these desires are holding us a victim, holding us a, what is that phrase? It holds us by the neck. How our desires hold us by the neck and push us towards our own adogati, towards anartha. He gives 3 examples in 38th verse. Very beautiful also. And I'll just chant the verse and we'll probably stop here, take this tomorrow. Dhume navriyate vannihi yatha darsho malena cha yatholbena-vrito garbhaha tatha tene damavritam. Dhume-navriyate vahnihi yatha darsho malena cha yatholbena-vrito garbhaha tatha tene damavritam. Now he's giving 3 examples. We'll see the elaboration tomorrow. But very quickly, the 3 examples are, just as dhumena, by smoke, avriyate, covers, vahnihi, fire. Just as fire is covered by smoke, yatha, just as, adarshaha, mirror, vriyate, malena vriyate, is covered by dirt. Mirror is covered by dirt. So avriyate is going by the first example. Second example, in both you are connecting it. Vahnihi is covered by dhuma. Fire gets covered by smoke. Mirror is covered by dirt, dust on it. Yatha, just as. Third example. Ulbena avritaha garbhaha. Just as the embryo is covered by the womb. Just as an embryo is covered by the womb, tena idam tatha tena idam avritam. Tatha, in the same way, tena, that. Which is that tena referring to? What is the context? Previous verse context that we have just finished. Which is a Mahashanaha, Mahapapma.
Desire.
So that kamna, tena. That kamna, that desires, idam, avratam, is covered. This is covered. Kamna is covering. Tatha tena avratam. The kamna is covering idam. This. What is this? Your own swarup. Your kamna is covering this. He's left it as this. Your own swarup. So these three examples are very beautiful, talking of three different stages in which the desires grow in strength and how to deal with them. So very, very important verse. Try and not miss tomorrow. And we'll take it up tomorrow. Okay. I'll just end the class. Sorry, excuse me. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhave. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Recording stopped.
Thank you. Let me just end.
Hari Om Vijay.
Hari Om Ji. Namaskar. Namaskar everyone. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dhanyavad, Dipti ji.
Dhanyavad.
Hari Om.